right here. Today is Tuesday, not quite 7 o'clock in the morning. I do believe we're scheduled for some server maintenance today, in a couple hours in fact, so I'm not sure about how long this stream will go. I mean, I will hang on for as long as I can, but I don't want it to just cut off, so we'll see how that goes. Usually we get some in-game messages to give us a warning, a heads up as the time gets closer for the shutdown. So even though it's supposed to be only an hour and a half, I figured if I can get in now and do a little bit of streaming, then we'll be good for today. Yesterday I finished the house I had been working on for my alt turnip. So if you have been following along that and didn't get to see the last little bits, I did do kind of a quickie tour that I uploaded to YouTube. But next week when we do the exile tours on Wednesday, I'll probably do another quick little tour just to kind of throw that in there. Yeah, it's done. I mean, there are probably touches I could add to it, extra details, but I think I have about 80 decor left that I can add, because I think I'm at like 920 of 1,000. And but I'm going to be leaving that house up for quite a while. I expect probably at least to the end of the year, tentatively maybe, unless I just come up with some new grand idea that I'm going to do. But the thought is that the extra 80 that I have to work with, I will probably do some touches, like when it comes up to Shades Eve in October, maybe add some pumpkins and a little fairy scene on the porch or something, and then come the Winter Gala for December, probably set up a holiday tree with some presents or something. But I want to leave, you know, a little bit of wiggle room for things that I want to add later to do with the seasons. Because a lot of people feel like they have to redo their entire plot to kind of bring in the holiday cheer, and I'm going to see if I can just kind of update my house to match the seasons, or to kind of go with what's going on. Since there really isn't anything significant at this time, I'm just going to leave it as is. This morning, today, we're going to start on the new CBDC project. If you haven't been following me and have no clue what I'm talking about, CBDC stands for Custom Built Decor Challenge. It's a challenge I have been hosting in my guild for several months now. At the first of every month, they're assigned or challenged to create a custom-built item based on a specific theme. In the past, we've done vehicles, land-based vehicles. We've done animals, aquatic animals, and playground items, things like that. And what it is everyone has essentially 3 weeks of the month to give it some thought, plan it out, put it together, submit their entry, and then the last week of the month, everyone in the guild, whether they built something or not, gets to vote for their favorite. And you know, there's not any specific prizes or anything. It's mostly just the fun of the challenge and a little bit of a pat on the back for whoever wins the vote. So as this is relatively a new month, I mean, we're already basically a week into it, but the new theme this month is a monument, and specifically we're supposed to build a monument in commemoration for our guild's first year anniversary. We haven't actually done a special event for the guild, as far as, you know, no nighttime party or anything like that. There's been some tentative talk that we were going to have like a story night to kind of go over the guild's history over the year and something like that, but I think that's still in the works. But I figured this was a good time since we just recently celebrated the 1 year anniversary for WildStar in general. This was a good time to kind of get people to thinking about it, and reminiscing about special moments they had. So I told them to basically just think about things that they've done with the guild or while they've been in the guild. Uh, be it special boss kills that were memorable, or we have a lot of role players in our guild, so we've had a lot of role playing events. If one of those sticks in their mind as a really significant moment or fun moment, or if there's a particular guild member that's played a big role in their time in WildStar, be it one of our facilitators, which is not exactly an officer position, but they're the ones that organize most of our events, or the guild leader, or whatever. It didn't even have to be about a specific event or person. It could be maybe what represents to you the guild as a whole. If you want to build something to kind of represent our guild, and in addition to that, they've been welcomed to include a brief little description, kind of like when you have a monument, there's usually a plaque that kind of explains what it means, the significance of whatever it is that's been built. And I've invited them to do the same with their entry, that they can include a brief description of maybe who it's about, or what significance their monument or fountain or whatever has, just to kind of give a little extra insight to those that might not have participated in the event that they're trying to commemorate or whatever. As far as the monument goes, I've kind of left it open as to what kind. It doesn't have to be a statue or anything. It could be a fountain, could be a building. Some people commemorate libraries or something for a specific person or whatever. But hopefully they justify whatever type of monument they decide to pick. Anyway, today we're going to try and get started on building a monument. Now I'm going to leave Mortimer here. He's from the last CBDC that we did. I'm going to leave him up, and we're just going to go inside this time and build it indoors. Because for me, a statue, maybe it'd be like in the guild hall or something, and we're going to try and put something together. I'm going to try and make either a statue, or I'm thinking more like a bust, like the chest and head of a person. And the person I've chosen is our guild leader. Mostly because he has significant influence over the guild as a whole. Because one, he is the guild leader, but two, just personally, he's very involved in not just the gaming aspect, but he's likes to keep tabs on everybody, and he's very attentive. And I think he's touched all of the guild in a special way, as far as his vision of what a guild should be, and being able for so long to keep it true to its original goals. So many times you join a guild and they say we want to keep it a nice, friendly, family kind of atmosphere, and once the guild starts raiding and things become more of loot conscious kind of environment, a lot of times drama ensues, and things can get out of hand. And then as people kind of get burnt out and activity kind of wanes, then people start, their morale starts to drop. And so far, we really haven't come across anything major like that, and I attribute that to our guild leader's leadership. So I'm going to try and commemorate him, even in roleplay terms. the guild is represented as a business venture that he has put forth. And so even in roleplay situations, his role is pretty significant, being the owner of the Void Runners. So I just want to attempt to build something. Now I have another idea in the back of my mind in case this one fails miserably, but we're going to try and do this. Now, since I'm thinking a bust or statue type of thing, I'm thinking grays, different types of metals or stone and things like that. So I went last night and did a quick list of some of the items that I could probably easily get a hold of. There's probably quite a few more than what I've listed, but these are ones that I think I could probably get away with using the most. And straight off, I know I'm going to want at least one pillar, and there's two different pillars that I could probably get away with, and that would be the Draken pillar or the Cassian pillar. Now, the choice of which probably would be best determined in my eyes based on the kind of materials you used for the bust itself. I don't necessarily want the pillar to be an actual part of the bust. I just want the bust to be like sitting on the pillar. But for the time being, we're just going to go with the Draken one because I've used the Cassian one so often. I just feel like just for a change, we're going to the Draken one. So I'm going to just set up, have it squared up in here, and then we're going to kind of put it in the middle of the room. It doesn't have to be, but this way I've got a full 360 view if I need it. And then we're going to drop it down to about as low as we can get it at that size. And to me that looks like a good size for a bust to be sitting on. Someone else may feel like that it needs to be smaller. There are ways that you can link items to group them together and size them at the same time. Excuse me. But I think this will be a good size to work with. I want it to be fairly big so you can see the details, hopefully of like the face and things like that. So I don't want to make it too small. Plus it'll be I think more difficult to click and select certain items as we get into the layering bits of this and that. Excuse me. Now to the side here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just toss out a few example of items that I would probably consider using. For example, I crafted myself a few metal planks that may prove useful. There's the Hugel statues that could be used. I know they're kind of greenish in color, but maybe, it's if you want to get some kind of contrast going to help push forward or accentuate certain details, you might need something different color than just the flat gray. There's also the basic building blocks. You go with Orin one. I don't really want to go with the metal looking ones, even though it could technically be used because it is grays, but I don't want the splotchy look necessarily. And I don't want the gravelly bits either. Now I say that, and there may be instances where I want it to give like some texture to maybe the clothing, the shoulders or something. We'll see. But it's just some things that kind of went through my head, and let's see. There's the rocks, round swirly rocks. The only problem with these is, of course, the swirly mark on it. You may or may not want that showing, but if you can position it in a way that that doesn't show, but you get the surface of the other side that you do want and it works for you, that's great. Let's see. There's the hammer. It's more of a shiny kind of metal. It's not really stone, but in bits. Like if you need something, like say you're going to do a full statue, maybe you need arms and leg features. These might be handy for that. Personally, I think it's a little too tiny. I much prefer the orange stone and more matte looking of the metal, like that. So probably not the hammer for this particular one, but I'm just throwing out some examples of things that you might can use if you're looking to fashion your own. But like with the building blocks for like the dome, there's also the cylinders and the walls and the floors. You know, like I said, it depends on the kind of monument you're making. But for like faces and stuff like that, I'm figuring a lot of the soft curve stuff will be preferred, and then other things maybe the metal planks. So what I'm going to do is, I do have a reference picture of his character. It's not very big, so I can't really make out a lot of the details, but I get the general idea of like how his hair is on his character and the gear he happened to be wearing when the picture was taken. And he's got kind of a rough expression on his face, but you know, again, this is just kind of a representation of it. It's not going to be an exact. It may not even be recognizable as him, but we'll see what we can do. So if I'm going to do kind of like the bust part, I'm probably going to start either at the waist or like mid-chest. So let's see how we're going to do that. Probably, let's just, one thing you could do is there are some actual busts. There's the soldier bust, which is cheaper, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as how you would set up. Hers is just above the waistline, I think, just under the chest line. And this is something about kind of like what I'm talking about building. Why it's got a nubbin on the bottom, I'm not sure, but to me it looked better on a different kind of pedestal thing. But this is about what I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that fancy with the face and stuff, but you know, I'm going to try. Kind of add in as many details as I can. So you can kind of see the general shape here. And of course I'm looking at his picture to kind of get an idea as well. So let's see what we can do here. Never tried something like this before, so this is like a really big experiment, as is most of the things I try to attempt. It may or may not be successful. That's why I have a backup plan if I fail miserably at this. But you know, I've got a few weeks to kind of play around with it, so we're gonna give it a try. Nothing else, I guess I can move the pillar. Ends up being kind of off center, but just figure better get that lined up now, and then no, I don't like. Okay, so. Just trying to get a general shape, I guess. Don't know if that's even gonna work right. Like a weird job stopper or something. Let's try it. Again, like I said, this is probably not exactly the perfect color, but I like the shape of it. I tend to anyway. And while he isn't fish-shaped, it could work to my advantage. I'm not sure. Again, like I said, this morning we probably won't get a whole lot done. It's just be me trying different things to kind of see about getting started on this, because as I said, there's some maintenance coming in. Where that went. For half curved. Might have actually put it in the wall. Oh no, it looks like there's 3 of them in there. The only thing I don't like about these is they've got that the trim on them. There may not be, you know, getting around that, but we'll see. Size that down a bit. Anyway, I don't know how well this will look as far as the shape of things. I'm sure it's going to be kind of you know, it's hard to like fashion something to match the exact shape that you're wanting when it's already got a specific shape in mind, I guess is what I'm trying to say. You know, it's hard to make a square fit a curved shape because, I mean, you know, you got those sharp edges to contend with. Try this. I'm not really looking at it from the back. He's not a hootie owl, but again, I'm just looking at shape to see if I can kind of get it how I want. Oh, I have to turn Homer's sound off. Let's see. Again, you'll notice I'm tending to stick with things I can just grab right off of the render because that's easiest when you're working as a roommate. I could hop on my alt and actually just do that, but she doesn't have as much money, of course. So it's just easier to work on my main. And just trying to get like the shape again, kind of like what I want, like a chest, like he's got the shoulder area, and then this is his waist here. Cause he's an Oran, so he's pretty skinny looking, little narrow kind of shape there. And then I was thinking these would be like the shoulder pads on his ear. But these particular pieces are a lot longer than the shoulder pads they're wearing, so, and they're obviously shaped different. The shoulder pads are more kind of like, again, they're tapered. The bottom it's narrower. These just don't do that, so I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna put them in there just to see. Nothing else that helps give me an idea where bits and parts are. Going to be using a lot of these hoogles apparently. Not exactly a cheap way to go about it, but I don't know, the shape lends itself well to some of the things I'm trying here, so we'll just go. But you know, if you wanted to do a fountain, maybe the parts where the water would technically come out, you know, maybe that's the bits that you use as commemorative part. And maybe your guild downed all the bosses in genetic archives, for example, and maybe you make an item that represents each boss and set that around mountain. Have like maybe something that looks like your guild's shield, the hologram, holomark, or whatever, up at the top as the pinnacle of the fountain. Again, maybe you decide to do kind of a library thing. You'd have like a little museum even. And I'm gonna, be trying to get proportions right and things. Probably not going to be exact. And, maybe he ends up with too big a face or something. But I'm going to try my best. Make it work. There's kind of a head, sort of. I don't know if that's very good or not. And then of course I've got his ears to worry about. I don't know. Let's see. Now, do I add arms, or do I leave those off? This one chose to leave them off, so I guess it wouldn't be too weird if I left them off, but I don't know. Maybe I need to add some roundness to the face. And also give a bit bigger place for the face. Easily eye. That's too far. Looks like a cactus head. Let's see. Now, this would be really cool for the hair, but the only problem is it always has this rope stuff that you gotta contend with. So I don't think I'll be able to get away with it for all of his hair. It would be nice because it's got that extra bit on there. I don't think it would work as much as I would love it to. Because yeah, I think it would just be a lot of stuff sticking out. I need to turn it off. You can see what I mean. It would be cool because it's got the waviness that his hair does, but again, the ropes of it's just too annoying. There's no way to cover them up, and it looks like he's got tentacles hanging out. But you know, I've seen these particular pieces used for hair before, but they were more for like a painting that was like, you know, 2D, not an actual statue, so they didn't have to really contend with the bits sticking out as much as I would here. It would be nifty though. I could size it down small enough and have it actually work for that. But as I said, I don't think that's going to be an option. So, what to use is the hair. That'd be a trick. I thought about maybe using the metal planks as part of it, but I don't think that's going to work all that well. In here. I'm gonna look at the other Google kind of bits this. Not very good. And I know there is either one or two other Googles, but they're vendor purchases. So you kind of have to have the the right rep to get that. Let's see. Even if I make this like super small, I just can't imagine how many pieces that would actually make. Same way with the mop head. It's a good kind of hair kind of representation, but doesn't really look like stone, and then you have the handle to contend with. So like, yeah, if you have this, then you have that stick to mess with. A lot of it would probably depend on the angle and the size that I would use, on whether or not I can get away with using it as hair. Not going to be an exact match to his anime-ish looking style, but no problem. Listen. Mop head. So again, it would be really tricky to keep using it because, like I said, it's got that threaded handle to always be worried about. And of course, the smaller I make it, that means the more pieces I have to use just to fashion it the way I need to. And of course, the curve is always not going to be that. You know, he's got other flary, curvy bits. So the handle wouldn't always be able to be hidden in the head part. So I think that will pose issues. As far as the face, that's a trick all its own. Now, do I use hollow domes? Okay. Or like the sockets kind of things, or to get the eyelid shape. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Yes. And then I don't even know if I can get it small enough. That's another thing, because I mean, here I am already at 0.05. Yeah, see, that's 0.01. That's the smallest I can possibly make, even forcing it to size. Still pretty big. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna quite work. I have to find something else to kind of like maybe the hookah eyes themselves work in some way, maybe. Let's see. Copy, paste. I don't know. I think that would be kind of weird. Because then you got the 2, and if I keep leaning everything down, it's gonna be like he's like looking that way. I don't think that'll work. Guess I probably should in the back here, make his head looking like it's leaning. Zero. Again, it's a lot of problem. It could be just the scale that I'm using. I may have to make it bigger just to, just to accommodate using the smaller pieces for the details. I may have to really make the statue a lot bigger. That may be one option. It's really when I start using these small pieces that it makes it hard to maneuver things around. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to size up. So let's see if we can do that without it. Awesome. Here. So first I have to try and see if we can link everything up together. This could go all around. Look how deformed that is. Totally not good. So try it this. Unlink everything. Just link. This has 5 pieces. For the head. Not sure if I'll link them all for the same one or not. That didn't really work right there. I don't know, maybe it did. Let's try this one. Unlink them all, just that. Let's try this. because I know if I try to link it, and as long as it's less than the 0.20, which is like the standard small size, it'll suddenly pop to that measurement and kind of throw everything off. And I don't want it that big. I know that much. It's just trying to get all these pieces to not size. Super huge. I'm just gonna load this out. Whoops. Need to unlink that, I guess. But the last piece looks like, yeah. Okay, we're gonna size it up to 10. And that means we need to size everything else up, so I'm gonna pop this up. I basically doubled it, so I need to double everything else as well. I think the chest part is 3 pieces plus the neck. And these are all. Okay, so this one needs to go to 10. That up. Well, and these. Oh, that's huge. Just gonna push it up to the 9. There's absolutely no sense now. Basically destroyed what I made. Okay, that don't look too bad. Extra bit there. Let's see. Copy this one. Extra piece. There, that might be a better size. Okay, and then the head. Slowly coming back together, kinda, sorta, maybe. Got that lagginess going on. Wish they'd fix that. That would be nice. Okay, I think one more hoogle in place, and then we're back to kind of where we started, or left off, I should say. Kind of a general shape there. Come on. Something like that. Kind of lose the neck there. I think it's mostly just way I put together these videos. Something like that. Let's see. Maybe this is too high. Something like that. And then these kind of represent where the shoulders are. Ah, there. Now, it'd be a different story if you could actually kind of just carve out the parts that you want or don't want. But, you know, this you have to kind of handle a little differently. Let's see. Just debating on whether or not I think the waist one here is too fat. That looks. He's not a chubby boy. I mean, he could be, but I don't think that would. Might even be a little too bulky as far as the shape here, but I'm going to keep it because this is how the noodles are. Let's see. Get a couple more of those foreign pieces. The half curved wall. Just try two for now. Grabbed a couple more, but I'm not gonna try. What I'm trying to do is to get it to look kind of sort of tapered. Not an easy thing to mimic. He's being sliced in half. Maybe I should make it smaller. Maybe that would help. Not fine. I don't know if that. Something like that. Now the fun part of trying to get it to look somewhat similar on the other side, which is never an easy task. Because, you know, again, I don't pay attention to angles and precise measurements. I just kind of go with it and see where that gets us. Now that looks a little crooked. Let's see. Maybe lift this one up, I think. And this one's good. And up. Even these probably aren't at the same angles. That doesn't help either. Okay, kind of getting there. So there's some like shoulder pad kind of thing on. And if we wanted to kind of give like little stumps where the arms are cut off, we could probably add a few more hugel pieces. Like so. Excuse me. This we get for getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Let's see. Like maybe copy. And then we want the fat end or the skin. Again, having to play with the size and the shape as well. You want it to look like the shoulder pad is kind of on the arm, but not like let's see. It's hard to see with those. Something like that. Just take that out. Get out the other end. Almost like a scarecrow. Maybe it should be so he's not like he's in his hand out. funky. Something like that. Okay, let's see, we're coming up on 8. I think the maintenance is supposed to start kicking in about an hour or so. I expect some messages in game to start popping up. Okay, go ahead. Great. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm going to use here. Yeah, see, his is a little even more different. It's like really sliced off on the edge, which you could do here too. I'm just looking to see if there's anything I can use. Now that's the trouble with building with things that have other things attached to them. It's really difficult to get them, to hide those bits that you don't want to see, but they might have a bit that you'd really love to use. Kind of like the Falcon fence piece. I really would love to use that because I think that would suit his hair shape and everything. But with those ropes sticking out, it just unpleasant. Which is unfortunate. There's some banana hair. Better if the bananas were green, maybe. Oh, I started yawning and now I'm not gonna. I could see about possibly making the hair out of some kind of grass. I know we don't really have any kind of gray looking foliage, I don't think, but as a last resort, I have to add color. I wonder if the thorny logs would. If I use it, I'd probably go with the green ones. Match better with Google's. Keep that in mind. See, the crystals might even work too, just because of the hairstyle he's got, but it's moving and I don't want movement on there either, so. Excuse me. Oh man. I see a nap in the afternoon in my future. I don't know what it is. I can't blame the heat anymore because the heat's pretty much it's cooled off here, so it's not the heat that's waking me up. I don't know what it is. Maybe last week I just kind of got into a rhythm of getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning and now I can't stop. It's really not much earlier than I normally get up, because normally we get up about 6:30, but lately it's been 5 o'clock, almost on the dot every morning. And I don't even use an alarm for that. I mean, our alarm's set for 6:30, something like that. It's like, I don't know why I'm getting up. All this hover park stuff. These remind me of macaroni. Now, if you're really desperate and you need some kind of new food dish, and you have the space, you make a bowl of macaroni. You see. I swear that's what it looks like, macaroni. Macaroni and cheese. Put a few of those bobbling around in the witch's brew, or the one that's got the yellow looking goop, look like macaroni and cheese. So far, I don't really see anything other than possibly the thorny logs, which will be coming up on the greenlings here shortly. Dum 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 dum. Freaking funny. I'm here clicking on things, but I still end up going, you are no longer, or you are now away from keyboard. I have to move my camera just to get it to wake up. I don't know why it does. It's annoying when I'm like browsing on the auction house too. I have to watch it because I've gotten logged out a few times. Thinks I've gone AFK too long and it'll log me out. It's like, what? I was busy scanning the auction house. It's like, you have to get in the habit of wiggling your camera every now and then just so it knows that you're still there. A lot of horns and spike stuff, but again, they're always attached to things that I don't want. I suppose if I got desperate, I could use swords for the hair, sort of, maybe. I don't know. I really do think the green logs will probably be, because they're tapered and they don't lend themselves to the curvy shapes of his hair, but maybe I can kind of fake it in. We shall see. Asteroid might could work, but I don't want to spend 2,000 renown multiple times just to get some hair going. Let's see, if this was green, I'd probably try and use that because it kind of reminds me of his hair too. Fish intestines, frying pan. Cables might work. Some of the cables for the hair, you might get away with that. You just have to ignore the little nubbin ends on it. That might kind of look a little funny, but if you can get past that, it would probably work. For anyone else that, you know, decides they want to try and make a statue of somebody. The only other statue I've actually seen them make is I saw one that was of the vendor from Futurama. I don't even remember offhand whose house that was. Pretty sure it was Exile Side, but I'd have to go and visit all the homes on the current must-see list before I could tell you the specific name. But yeah, they did a statue of Bender, but you know, Bender being a robot, he kind of lends himself to being that. Now, I've seen other like creatures and stuff. I've seen a dragon and several like mecha type fighters and stuff. But again, at least the mecha ones, they were like mechanicals. I think it lent themselves well to the pieces that you can get a hold of. You know, they were able to use tires and barrels and things like that. But I haven't seen anyone really try to do a statue. I've seen a few paintings of people that turned out really nice. I think I've seen some animals, other than the ones that my guild has made. I've seen a few that other people have done, like cats and bears and rhinos and things. See, that might lend itself to wavy hair. It'd take a lot of them. It might look like Medusa when you're done, but it's a possibility. You know, this could be used for like curly hair, maybe. Goldilocks hair. But as far as this kind of statue, I don't think I've seen anyone actually try to make one from scratch. If they have, I just haven't come across it. It's not like I'm specifically copying anyone, it's just probably just haven't seen it. Because most of them just use, they're already pre-made, pre-done. Okay, so a log. How are we gonna do this? And am I gonna be able to make it smaller? That's the magic. I have a worry that it won't. The lag is irritating. So, like, on the road. Wow, way off. Looks like Pinocchio. Bit of hair. Maybe I should use it. With the lag, it's hard to tell when I've stopped turning it. Like, yeah, it's gonna take a lot of green twigs. Because basically his hair is kind of like, I don't know, it's like feathered and goes off to one side, but it feathers all the way, so that's gonna take a lot to kind of mimic that line. I don't know if that's gonna work well or not. And then of course I've got the ears to contend with. I don't know if the logs are going to work for that as well. Because, you know, they're hairy too, like his hair, and the same color, so I'm just going to place a few out here to play around. And I'm also going to grab one of the thorny piles. But like for the ears, they're pretty pointed on the top. Gonna be so freaked by this thing because the lag is real. Let's see. Where is it? The back of it. Now I only have a picture of him from the front, so I imagine there's like the hair and then the like pink part for the rest of it. I think it's tapered. Like, wow. Really hard to see. Let's see, grab a couple more honks. Angle pieces. Something along those lines, I guess. And then have to do it on the other side to kind of mimic the way that is. And then using the rest to kind of make his hair sort of that way. It's just having it not blend so much that you can't make out that that's his ears and then the hair. So something like that. Again, just kind of eyeballing and guesswork, because like I said, my picture's kind of limited as far as I don't have all angles. I just want to go with this AS. one is 0.03. So they're all the same size, just angled different. Okay. I think it's like 4 pieces for the ear, because I didn't get like 2, and I don't know how wide those things really are. But I think it's better view here. This may be one of those projects I'll be saying never again if I do one of these. Because it may turn out to be a royal headache trying to fashion something that looks like it resembles somebody. That's again, it's really hard to see all the arrows and things like that going on. One more. Okay, let's see. Oh, he's got ears now. They might not even be long enough, because, or maybe too pointed up. I'm not sure which it is. Probably just not long enough, just based on head size. It's something I guess I'll figure out later, because the rest of his hair is pretty up there too, so. And his ears have to go well beyond that. So we'll see. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. Okay, as far as like the outfit that he's wearing, in at least in the picture that I've got, he's got like a belt buckle here, and then it's kind of like a draped piece. Now, if I wanted to do that, probably the easiest way is to use contrasting color to kind of bring out detail there. But I think what we need to work on the most, try and fashion, is some kind of a face. Like, let's see. I don't know if using the Hoogles or all of that will show up enough. But like, for instance, lost it in there somewhere. Oh, there it is. Little nubbin of a nose. Again, it's really hard to get a good shot in here without all the clutter of the arrows and things like that. I don't know what it's there. Great stuff. A little button nose there. But then I have to like figure out, okay, proportion wise, where is it supposed to be? Too high? Is it too low? Looks a little bit on the high side. And then is it just a button nose, or is there more of a bridge? So if there's that, then I guess you would need to angle it a bit. I can get the angle a little bit. So there's like a nose. Disregard this weird hair. Now, I think it's important to get the face set like you want first, and then go from there. So let's. My stomach is growling. I didn't grab breakfast this morning straight from the walk like I normally do. Let's see. This is the thing. Ugh. Can't tell what I'm trying to do without much success here. Is I'm trying to get the eyebrows in place. Now it's like, and because again, you're working with that weird round shape of the hoogles, so and again, that's about as small as I can get it. As far as the size of that. Just gonna do an experiment here. The lag just makes it jumpy. Wanna cooperate? You want his face proportions to be alright as well. You don't want his eyes too close together or too far apart, or so it's also something to keep in mind when you're putting in the face. Even if you're just making it up, you want to kind of. Oh, there we go. Roughly 30 minutes. The realms will be brought down in 1.5 hours. So our time is short. Again, I may have the features a little too high still. Even if you put the mouth in there, it feels like he's gonna have like a really fat chin instead of a small narrow one like he actually does. But that again has to do with the shape that I've chosen for the head. You know, I'll be able to kind of maybe cover up the top part of the head more with the hair. Oh, for crying out. I may just end up shortening even the head. I don't know. That might help make his ears look longer. Now the nose. He's gonna be like, that looks nothing like me, and it probably doesn't. A bit. It's a really bad representation. Okay, I'll try and get the other eye in before time runs out. Again, I don't want to wait till they actually just shut it down. Part my ways before that. Gonna be all googly-eyed because it's not gonna be exactly the right angle and stuff, I'm sure. Okay. Getting it just right. Yeah, it looks like his eyes might be a little. There we go. That might be a little better. And then we have to have the other stern-looking eyebrow thingy. We can get that to rotate nicely. That would be good. He's always in a bad mood, apparently. Ah, people make me crazy. Anyway, there's there's the start of it. The Bizarro statue there. Bust. Anyway, I think this is where we'll stop for today. I know it was a short stream, but as I said, we've got maintenance coming in very soon. And of course, I didn't get started as early as I wanted. It was pretty close, but hopefully tomorrow we'll get to do more. What I will probably do is I will see how well I can put this together, and I'll like say, okay, there's that one, and then I might try something else and build several different versions and see which one I like best. I don't know. It just depends on what I can come up with. I would like to mention, I'm probably going to mention this several times just to see if, if I can get the word out as much as possible, but the Living in WildStar housing site, for those of you familiar with it, Wilson, the guy that runs the site, he's been kind of MIA for, well, I think the last update for the site itself was logged like back this time last year, so it's been in quite a while since there's been any kind of active updates for the site. He's back in business. He's currently working on updating his databases. He's been giving me updates pretty regularly the last day or two of his progress. Nothing's been actually uploaded to the site, but on his own local server, he's been busily updating the database. He's mostly just gotten to the process of updating a lot of stuff that was already there, that was lacking information, like maybe the cost or where to get it and things like that. And putting them into categories. There was a lot of uncategorized items that I think have been finally put in their categories. So that's what he's been working on for the last day or so. He's also going to be working on incorporating a lot of the screenshots that are lacking, not only for the new items, but for a lot of the older ones that he hadn't got around to. Because as I understand it, there was not only some real life issues that come up, but also can't think of what I'm trying to say, like some virus that kind of deleted or ate up a lot of the information he had in waiting that he was going to put together. So that kind of, I guess, put the wind out of his sails all those many months ago. But it looks like he's gotten the bug again as far as wanting to get involved with the site and with the game. And It could be in part because of the free-to-play transition that's coming, but I just wanted to get the word out. I've already posted it in the forums a few places, but for those of you that watch these videos and are unaware that that site is going to be seeing some tender loving care, that it's much needed for these last months, the good news is that it's coming. Like I said, he's currently working on his local server, so you might not see some changes immediately, but I expect to see some of that coming within the next few days, probably, as he decides that things are where he wants them, and he will start to work to upload that information to the actual site itself. So he's already been talking about new features he would like to add, like a video section for like links, because he knows that there's some videos out there for like the challenges, and I even mentioned one that did like 400 and something videos, individual decor, where they show, you know, it's sized up and down and rotated, and that's helpful. And he's talked about incorporating that into the site, among other things. He's even doing a little bit of reorganizing, like for the building blocks. He's talked about changing how those are searched, so that you can search it by style, not just by name and by category, but also by style. Like if you only want to look up orange stuff, then he's going to be cross-referencing those. If you just want to find Elden items, but you don't know the name, you can just type Elden in. It should bring up everything that's Elden style, but might not necessarily have Elden in the title. At least that's how I understand it. But anyway, that's something to look forward to. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so we have some house tours coming up. This week is the minions' turn, so I've got a whole list of houses that I will be visiting. I have usually we do about 3 or 4 homes, but I keep a list of probably almost double that, just in case I have trouble visiting. I've had that in the past and kind of got caught off guard by it, so I'm trying to stay prepared in the event that the visiting tool doesn't work exactly like I want. Because sometimes, even though the person is, you know, standing right